Welcome back to Technology Tuesdays. This is a supplemental episode, which means it's different from our philosophical conversations. Today is practical. Today we're building, and it's probably not a Tuesday when I release this video. We're going to create 3 Google Gemini GEMs. A Math 3 EOC Strategic Coach, an English 2 EOC Analytical Coach, and a Healthy Living Integrated Academic Coach that reinforces tested skills inside physical education. This is not about replacing instruction. It is not about turning every class into a test prep. It is actually about reinforcing analytical thinking in intentional ways. If AI is going to be present in our student lives, and it is, then we should shape how it functions inside our classrooms. Because we are a Google Workplace for Education district, GEMs allow us to build AI with guardrails. And you can do this in other AI models, but our access to Google products makes their chatbots work the best in our environment. So today I will show you how. What a gem is. A gem is simply Gemini with a job description. Instead of open-end AI chat, we define what the tool is used for, what it refuses to do, how it scaffolds, how it reinforces reasoning. The difference between random AI use and intentional AI use is the prompt design, and we're going to design them very carefully. What about guardrails? Before we start, we do not upload sensitive student data. We do not use this to generate graded work. We do not replace instruction. We use it to reinforce thinking. All right, so let's go build. All right, let's get started creating our custom chatbot. We are using Google Gemini and Google GEMs because we are a Google Apps for Education institution, and it makes it a lot easier for our students, and we have the licensing required to make sure that they work well when it comes to our users and ability to not run out of AI credits. So the first thing we need to do is, before we even think about these chatbots, we need to gather some information, which I have already done. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but I'm going to show you what I gathered. I went to the Department of Public Instruction, North Carolina, and I downloaded some things. I downloaded a released English 2 test. I downloaded the unpacking document. I downloaded the test specifications for the English 2 EOC. I also downloaded our extended standards and our standards. I may have a few more standards than it needs for English 2, but I figured if AI has all the information from our entire high school area, it will be just enough. Now keep in mind, AI has a lot of this information built into it. That's part of how AI works, but it's not always correct, and sometimes it can hallucinate because there is so much information. But by providing it the exact information you want it to concentrate on, it will do a much better job when it comes to coaching our students. So let's get started with making our custom chatbot. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to Gemini. So if you go up and you select Gemini, that will take you to the AI model. Keep in mind, Gemini is built in with a lot of our tools that we use in Google, but Gemini, we need to go there directly for the ones that actually allows us to make the chatbot. So in the tools, if this is not expanded, go ahead and expand it. You're going to be clicking on GEMs. GEMs is where the magic happens, and this is where we make our custom chatbot. Clicking on GEMs will give us this sort of menu. Right now I only have one gem. It is a FFA Part 107 testing quiz gem that helps people prepare for the 107. But we're going to go ahead and click a new gem. So I'm going to walk you through these boxes. The first thing is you've got to give it a name. This can be anything you want. You can make it cute, you can make it professional, anything you want. So in this particular case, I am going to be slightly lazy, and Jerry is going to be our English 2 coach. Then you need to give it a description. Keep in mind, the description isn't super important as far as how the chatbot works, but it is important for it to be public facing, so your students know what the purpose of this chatbot is. So the public knows what the purpose of that chatbot is. So for me, I'm going to say it's a North Carolina English 2 EOC analytical conditioning coach. Maybe we should change that to tutor. that might be best. But that gives you a nice description. The most important thing is going to be in these instructions, and we'll get to there in just 1 second. Default tool, leave it at no default tool right now, but this is where you can do things to make sure it uses some of the more specialized AI tools. For example, creating images. If you were going to have a chatbot that was created images, but you wanted to put scaffolding on what it could create, what it couldn't create, what the style is going to be, you could create that. But we're going to leave it as no default tool. Knowledge. This is the part where we are going to go and we are going to add from our Google Drive. We are going to add those files that I downloaded from DPI. So here are all the different files. I'm going to go ahead and select all 6 and hit insert. So it's going to download and upload all those files to my chatbot so that they have them for it to work very well. Now we're going to go to the most important part. This is the instructions. I have already created the instructions, but I'm going to go through them so you can understand what they are. This is somewhat more of an art than a science. There is some science to it, absolutely, but some of it is worth playing with, getting some better instructions, things of that nature. So we're going to look at our English 2 course, and we are going to take a look at what we have here, and I'm going to show you the instructions that I've created. The first thing you want in any of these instructions is a role. You want to tell the chatbot what its purpose is and who or what kind of persona it should take on. So we're going to kind of come back to what the purpose of the AI chatbot is. We're also going to tell it what it needs to do. So here are the things that we have put into it. We want reading analysis, and we're going to ask text-dependent questions. We're going to require citation of evidence before confirming answers. We're going to emphasize inference, tone, structure, and author's purpose. These are all things they're going to see on the English 2 exam. We want them to get used to multiple choice, so we're going to have multiple choice conditioning. We're going to mirror EOC style formatting, require justification for answer choices, and analyze distractors after submission. This is the part that's going to be interesting. We're going to make sure that they work on their constructed response and that they have constructed response coaching. Require students to draft responses first. Do not write full essays because we do not want it to do all that. We want to provide rubric angled feedback, encouraging revisions, and those are the type of things. So here is the fun part. This actually helps give it also another role. If a student says simulation mode, what that does is that presents one passage at a time. It tries to simulate an EOC, and we can take a look at that. Here's the ethical. These are some of the guardrails that we've put on it. We do not want it to reproduce copyright passages verbatim. We do not want it to reveal answer keys automatically, and we do not want it to complete graded assignments. So if they go to this chatbot will have a lot of information. And what we've kind of told it to do is, hey, this may be the English chatbot, but don't go ahead and let us do those things. These can always be modified if we see something go off the rails, if we see something and unintended consequences. Instructions can be certainly modified. So we can even go as far as come down here and say, dad jokes are loved. And we'll see what that does. I don't know. This is kind of a real-time thing. So we're going to copy all of that. So I'm copying all of this, and we're going to go back to our instructions, and we're going to paste our instructions. And we have now pasted our instructions. So we're going to save our gem. And it's been created, and we're going to start a chat with Jerry. So here's Jerry, and we're going to just start a chat. I have no idea how it's going to go, so we will see. I need help getting ready for my EOC. So Jerry's coming back. Let's see what Jerry says. Jerry's doing some analysis. As you can see up here, it is a custom gem. It's a custom thing. Keep in mind the first few times that you use it, the student uses it, it kind of has to load itself up, and it will start getting faster after that. Hello, I'm your coach. My mission is to get you ready. Here's the dad joke element. Did you hear about the guy who invented the lifesaver? They said he made a mint. Oh, great. So nice dad joke thrown in there. That just shows you how important those instructions can be. We're going to start. We're going to look at a passage from 2019 released EOC called The Art of Brazilian Lace. Read the excerpt of the first paragraph. Okay, we read it. Based on your text above, can you infer the nature of the lace making? Provide your answer in 1 to 2 sentences. You must cite specific evidence from the excerpt above to support your inference. I'll wait for your analysis before we move into our first multiple choice simulation. Okay, we're going to stop right there. We could play with these all day, but we have now created our first chatbot. And what we can do is we can watch how students interact with it and adjust the instructions as needed. All right, so now we're going to create another gem. So we're going to move from the English 2 chatbot, and we are going to make one for healthy living, for our physical education class. Why are we doing this? One is this is to showcase how we can use a chatbot to help prepare students for tested areas in a non-tested area content, still using the content and the ideas that we're trying to get across to our students. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new gem. And in that new gem, we're going to give it a name. We'll call this Larry. I'm not being that creative, but Larry, he's our new coach, our new PE teacher. And we'll give it a description in a second. And we're going to give it some instructions. But the first thing we're going to do is, like last time, we're going to add some files to it. We're going to add from Drive. And we're going to go ahead, and if we look, I have the healthy standards for PE. For the healthy living standards. So I'm going to go back out here, and if you look, I have the Math 1 standards plus released exams. I have the English 2 standards and unpacking and the recent exams. The Math 3, I have all this. We are going to go ahead and we're going to select all of those folders. So this guy in this particular chatbot is going to get all that information. It's quite a bit, but it's going to be very helpful in the long run. So let me show you the instructions we're going to be here and what they're all about. So if you look at here, here's our instructions. We're first going to give it the role. Like I said, that's probably the most important. You're a healthy living physical education teacher, and the role is to reinforce academic reasoning through authentic health and physical performance content. We're going to ask the students, what are they currently in any of these areas? And why are we doing that? Because these are the tested areas that we might want to help with. And it gives the AI a better context to, if a student is not in English 2, do we need to do a whole lot with that? Maybe not. So adjust the questioning style accordingly. We want to make sure it knows that we're going to have scenarios. We're going to have these type of things: heart rate zones, training progression, performance data, nutrition, goal tracking, those type of things. We're also going to talk about what's going to happen if a student is in Math 1. Here are some of the different things that we should talk about, and they're in there. If we're in Math 3, this is the things we should talk about. English 2, these are the things to talk about. Simulation mode, if they talk about simulation mode to kind of go in that EOC. Once again, do not reveal answers, don't complete graded assignments, maintain academic integrity, maintain a calm coaching tone. It's okay to have wise coach humor, and give it all of that good information. So this is going to be our instructions for our PE class AI chatbot. We're going to copy those in here. We're going to go to instructions. We're going to paste. So we now have some great things. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a description. And we'll just make it generic for right now. And then we will hit save. And when we do that, we now have Larry. Larry is our physical education coach. And let's say that we want to let's say that we literally are asking it something that's slightly out of the norm, but let's see how Larry responds. Because Larry knows his content. So I just said, what should I cook for dinner tonight? Because we know that nutrition is part of healthy living, that it is an element. Once again, let's see, Coach Larry here, glad to see you're thinking about fueling that engine for a long haul. Before we dive into the kitchen, I need to know who I'm coaching so I can tailor our game. Are you currently in Math 1, Math 3, English 2, or none of these? But here's some quick things. Here's his absolutely giving us a little bit of information, but then it still follows up. What's your current courses? Let's tell it I am in Math 1. All right, Math 1 time. Let's get those gears turning. I'm a coach looking for a good meal. Meal is functional relationship between activity and your recovery. In Math 1, we focus heavily on linear relationships and rate of change. The endurance bowl from a Math 1 perspective. Fueling the engine. Imagine you're cooking a massive batch of brown rice for the week. The time it takes for the rice to cook depends on the amount of water you use. Look at the table below and represent of cooking time, different volumes of water in a standard pot. 2 minutes 15. We could even export it to sheets or tasks before I confirm if this is a championship level dinner. I need you to use your reasoning skills. What's the rate of change for the data based on this table? Interesting. So it is really out of the gate getting us to really start working on Math 1 EOCs. Now we will have to determine and play with it more. Is it also giving us some of the information that we need for our healthy living? If it's not, that's where we go ahead and we adjust the instructions accordingly. But that is for a different time, and it's for playing. And I may make a separate video showcasing how to customize that. So now that you have these gems, how do you use them? How do you get them to people? So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to want to hit share. And share is where the magic happens, allowing students and others to use these things. You can then decide how do you want it. For Jerry, I'm going to say anyone with a link can access that. And if I go to Larry, I can go to Larry and I can say on Larry, only people in Columbus County schools can access that. So if it's anybody with a link, the outside world can. If it's Columbus County schools, it's only those. So now that you have that, if you click on that and hit copy link, that link that is copied, that's the link that you can paste in your Google Classroom where students can access that and access that material and then interact with that chat bot. I have done that with the Old Man FAA Part 107 SAGE and watch students participate on that. Soon I may be adjusting some of the instructions to get some different answers, but we've had a lot of fun with it helping quiz and prepare students for that 107. So chatbots can really have tons of content. It's not limited to testing. It's not limited to EOCs. It's not even, you could have a chatbot designed for one specific area that you're teaching and only that area. You can narrow it down. But I hope you see where chatbots may be a fun tool to use in your classroom and use AI in a responsible manner. All right, we're going to now create a Math 3 EOC tutor gem. So we're going to once again click on New Gem, and we're going to call this, I don't know, Nancy. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to create a Math 3 chatbot. So we got to give it a name. Let's call it Nicole. And we're going to go ahead and add our knowledge files. We're going to add from our drives. We are going to add the Math 3 folder, which if we look in the Math 3 folder, these are the things that I have. I have a release test, I have the unpacked document, and I have the standards. So we've added those there, and we're going to look at the instructions for our Math 3. So our Math 3 is we are a conditioning coach. We're going to align to the EOC. We're going to have these cognitive rules. We're going to have adaptive practice. We want them to try to track their strengths and weaknesses. This is something that is very good. We're also going to allow the simulation mode, and we're going to remain a tone. And do we want it to be funny? Let's make it weird. Use jokes about cats often. That will show you how that would modify that. So we're going to copy these instructions. We'll select them all, and we will copy them. We will go to our Nicole, the tutor, and we're going to paste them in, including our cat jokes. And we're going to give it a description of what it does. And we're going to hit save. And it's creating our custom gem, our custom chatbot. And we have now created Nicole, and we're going to start there. I need help getting ready for the Math 3 EOC. And we are going to hit submit. And we're going to see what our new chatbot comes back with. It's thinking. Keep in mind, once again, the first time it interacts with students, it kind of has to get itself going. So we're going to start with our conditioning that you'll see on the EOC. This one focuses on this standard, which is all about understanding the relationship between zeros and factors of polynomials. Are you ready for the challenge? Absolutely not. Don't worry, it's not clawful. Ha ha ha! Those are our cat jokes coming in. So they're really going to, positively prepared. Oh yeah, so they're going to be like, purpose. They're going to like, what in the world is this chatbot? But it shows you what those instructions do. What I love, it is so good at making sure that it visually looks appealing as well. So this will be our first question. Now take your time, no need to catapult into the answer. So they're really going to find this chatbot interesting. But as you can see, this is where it would go. I am not going to embarrass myself, so I'm not even going to try to answer it right now. But we now have our chatbot up and running. So we have now created Jerry, the EOC English course. We have created Larry, the Healthy Living PE. And we have created our Math 3 Gem bot. What we built today were not just chatbots. We built structured reinforcement systems. So for Math 3, it was conditioned reasoning. For English 2, analytical stamina. For healthy living, cross-curricular reinforcement. AI should not fragment departments. It should align thinking. GEMs allow us to encode pedagogical tools into the AI that we use today. They're not required. They're not replacements. They're optional supports. If you experiment with this, start small, upload your standards, write your guardrails, and design intentionally. Technology Tuesdays is not about chasing tools. It's about thoughtful leadership, and this is one way that we lead. So I'll see you next Tuesday or whenever.